Long before there was any mentoring program that anyone ever got paid for, people who went to Boston State would find the new teachers in the building. They would show them the ropes, help them.
Financially, I was able to go to Boston State because of the tuition being $200 a year. I loved also having the entire Fenway and all of the museums around me as part of my campus.
Why does everybody have an Irish last name? And some of that came from the professors, the teachers here had Irish last names. And so, it was Boston after all.
The interesting thing about it, I found teaching very, very easy. I don't know if it's the Boston State Teachers Training Program, but it was so simple. Everything that they taught me, I used.
What it had to offer in terms of excellence was wonderful preparation in terms of teaching, of really knowing the basic fundamentals of teaching. You could almost teach anything from what you learned here because you knew how to teach. And it's something I don't think that everybody pays attention to. I know there's a lot of emphasis on content and subject matter, which we had also a lot of because I was a history major and we had excellent courses in history and geography that prepared me very well. But I think that the whole methodology of teaching was really emphasized very well and has served me throughout my life.
And since about 90% of the people who went to Boston State were planning on becoming teachers, people who choose to be teachers, who have a passion for children and education, are a different breed of people. We care about service, we care about giving, and the comment of someone that I was with said, we're the kind of people who literally open doors for people in public.
Being with the children keeps you alive, it keeps you young. Finding and following all their little trends, which from Pokemon to you name it, Legos, etc. Also, getting to know the parents as well as the students.
Going to class and walking around playing whist in the lounge and down in the cafeteria. And I worked as well in downtown Boston while I was going to school, so just trying to juggle all that. But just the camaraderie and the joy that we certainly had there. I really appreciated the fact of Boston State in terms of its accessibility for me because it was affordable. Because I worked my way through college and I waitressed all through college, and it lent itself for me as a commuter to be able to get an education in a way I wouldn't have been able to in any other way.
And that I was in the music group here, because when I went to Boston State, we were kind of in sections, and we really stayed with that section all the way through, so it was really hard to meet other people from in other sections. But the music section seemed to be the most radical and progressive in many ways. And I also remember that here, we used to go like Sunday morning to Harvard discussion groups, to kind of philosophical groups, and just being in Boston and having so much access to everything that was going on.
The value of my Boston State education had to do both with the faculty as well as with my fellow students. I loved the size of the program and the special attention we got, the concern of the faculty.
I taught in Boston for 36 years, and I believe that people who were educated at Boston State College made the best teachers.
I was recruited from the San Diego Unified School District in February of my senior year, offered me a wonderful contract, so I decided I would come out to California for a year, and 50 years later I'm still there.
I went into psychology and got my PhD at the University of Maryland in human development, and decided I also wanted to work with families because I knew how important it was if I was going to make an impact on the children to be working with the parents as well.
And then I went to the University of California to begin a teacher education program for the University of California in San Diego, and worked there for the next 25 years. And in the meantime got a master's in multicultural education from Pepperdine, but I really thought that it needed to be more culturally inclusive education, kind of again using the richness of the culture that comes into the classroom with the people who are the learners. And then I went on to get a PhD at Western Institute of Social Research because I wanted to do a study in reading and language arts growth for especially African American children, because those were the children who were failing.
We became a male figurehead, a father figure, because of a number of children that were going through divorces and so forth. We became a coach up in the playground. And for most of them, for the majority of the students, at least the first 15 or 20 years, they had never had a male teacher.
I remember having to write our philosophy of education over and over and over. And the more we wrote it, the more we thought about what education was and what learning is. And that became the premise for everything that I did in education after that. That my focus then got to be on learning more than on teaching.
Definitely, it's where I was supposed to go. Changed my life.